Hello, Miss Zacarias, how you doing? Let me close. How you doing? Yeah. Sorry, I wear my little toe up shirt. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video. It's gonna be about Vince McMahon. I was gonna do a video about the Bill Clinton mixed race song, but I'm gonna just skip this one. As you know, I think I talked about loving the fact that to see The Rock as a wrestler, especially as a mixed race brother myself. You know what I'm saying? And someone of color. Period. But I mentioned about the thing. Did I do a video about the whole color to the N word, and I mentioned how racist it was? And I'm watching videos, and besides the racial aspect of WWE, formerly WWF, because I'm 36, I remember it was WWF, okay? And I mentioned the Mid-South Federation, what they call it, that's when they had, Paul Bosh, and I remember they had racial slurs used on there. I talked about that on one of my videos, okay? And I mentioned that Hulk Hogan, was hurtful because I was a fan of Hulk Hogan, but it was also not a shock because it was a lot of white racist people that even The Rock stated on his early interviews on magazines and also on television. They were raising his father, was of African Canadian descent, and his grandfather, who's Pacific Islander Samoan, had to go through that. And I remember the Guerrero brothers, Chavo Guerrero Sr., Teddy DiBiase called him skipping fun language way back. So he called him that. And as a child, I didn't notice that word, but I got older and started to be more conscious, racial conscious. I was hurt that Ted DiBiase would say that about a child girl. You hear the wrestler, but I remember seeing Michael Hayes come out with the Confederate flag, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know there was a racist flag. I'll never forget. And just before I knew I had Irish in my, because I told you I lived on my dad's side of the family. And my grandmother, who's on the mother's side of the family, my mother's mother did not know too much until final instant I come. That her fourth grandmother was a white woman, not the other way around, okay? It was after slavery, okay? Y'all know about my mixed background, okay? My dad and I used to go to all the parades. He used to light the parade, the St. Patrick's parade. Back in the 80s, he stopped going around crowds. He didn't have to go around crowds, okay? When we went to the Caribbean parade back in 95, you know what I'm saying? So we used to go to parades a lot, even though we had a rocky, relationships, because we're totally opposite from each other. He's very macho and I'm not, okay? He had a problem with that, but that's his fault. Anyway, and I never forget that they had to, I think my dad did buy an American flag, and maybe, he wouldn't buy he said, well, you're not Irish. Well, yes, I am now. I always been, but never know your roots because they had that one drop mess growing. They mess up our DNA and our identity about us being multiracial, partially black people, not pure black. But when I was a child, I said, I want the 4-leaf clover because I used to wear green. You know what I'm saying? I went to predominantly white school, from predominantly Hispanic. And what happened was there was a Confederate flag, and I'll never forget. I said, "Oh, I want that flag," and but I said, "No." I said, why? And I know this. And I found out that it was used for slavery and for the South and everything. So, and even find out on that lineage, on my mom's side, my mother's great-grandmother, that she had, she was a white woman, Irish and English descent. And I traced her roots 3 days back in late February to England. There were Confederate soldiers on that side of the family, okay? I still would not carry the flag. I'm not Lil Jon when he seen Bia Bia, okay? Y'all know that video, he had the Confederate flag on there, okay? No, I hate the N-word, I hate the Confederate flag, okay? They both attacked me, okay? But, the reason I remember hearing, and I'll never forget, there was a dude by my complexion, when it was Paul Bosh, Mid-South Federation, what they called before he signed a contract with Vince McMahon. And I'll never forget that, what happened? There was a, brother hit a perm in his head, I don't forget, and he was fighting with his white tag team partner, and the white dudes on the other side of the tag team, they jumped on this brother. I don't know if it was a junkyard dog. One of them brothers, kind of darker skinned brother, came out there and beat the crap out of them dudes. Said, this is not 1860, 1880, or whatever. This is 1985. I was 6 years old, actually 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago, okay. So, I'm be 37. So, After seeing all that, because my grandfather and my dad's side take a lot of wrestling and hear all them jokes and even exploiting people of color, not only African Americans, but Hispanic and Asians, and using the word, they didn't use the word nigga, but they show their racism by their actions, okay? Without using the word. But you know what I'm saying? After seeing all that, and then seeing the WWE try to be more PC, but still show some stereotypes and stuff, that's when I start to open my eyes. As when I got older, I started learning about race. You know what I'm saying? And because I would not, just as a little child, I would hate to have a conversation about race. But now I talk about it because everything I do, people have something about race, gender, religion. Those three subjects, gender, sexuality, because I don't have sex with dudes, but people try to, say that about me because I don't act masculine. Those issues, those four classes comes up. And I live in Texas, so pretty much, yeah, I would love to live in New York. But if, like I said, Trump become president, I'm going to Mexico, okay? I'm not going to stay here and live in a modern-day version of Jim Crow, because that's what I'm being, okay? So, what happened is that the reason I started to see racial overtones over the years. I was glad to see The Rock become champion, and regardless if he was light-skinned, if he was dark-skinned, whatever, it didn't matter. I was glad to see him. Glad he was very proud of his multiracial roots. Remember, in the 90s, I started being proud of my African-American, Native American, and Caucasian. I've always been proud of the African-American, Native American, because I was told, but I later found out when I was 13, there was white DNA. And you know what I'm saying? So, and they knew about it. The family knew, but they kept it a secret, okay? And I look around Creole people that's my shade, lighter than me, those some look like white folks, or those who darker than me, like, West Nights, who was mixed with Creole as well. So, and with the church with them, with the parish, when I converted to Catholicism at 13. So, and I saw all different, it was a rainbow coming to church, you know what I'm saying? And it's like God put me in that moment to see the different shades and different heritages. It was beautiful to see that, okay? So, that's why I started to embrace my multiracial roots. In the 90s, people like Mariah Carey, you had all type of people, Tiger Woods, started to acknowledge their roots, Benjamin Brad, Tyson Belford, Shamar, we go in detail. And The Rock was one of those mixed race people who came out and said he was mixed, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't have no shame. Like some people to this day still do have shame in their mixed race DNA. I don't. But with that come in, I start to recognize racism's small portion of it. Examine things around me. That's when I start to be smart about it. Okay, especially living in Texas, you got to. Okay, you can't be dumb, and then next thing something bites you in the butt, and you cry about it. I always try to make sure what I need to know before it happens. So, watching WWE in the 90s, WWE at the time, I started to see some racist stuff. Besides of, I never forget when Mike Tyson was on there. They had him, trying to be part of Generation X. Was it Triple X? With China and all them. Okay, and I never get Triple X. Triple X said, Triple X. Whatever his name, y'all know what I'm talking about. Triple X said. Called him a boy, and then he tore the shirt off in the show that he was part of. Y'all know the not NWO was NWO was the other WCW, but I'm talking about with China and Badass Billy Gunn and those wrestlers, okay, Shawn Michaels and them, okay. So I think it was Shawn Michaels or either Triple X. So what happened? I started to see that. I remember seeing Jacqueline. That's I love Miss Jacqueline. Jacqueline Moore. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The dark skin with long hair. Oh, I love long hair. She was beautiful. And when she was on WCW and she would join WWE. Okay, and I want her to beat up a Sable. I got tired of Sable. I want to beat her up. I never forget they had white women jump on her. You know what I'm saying? Like gang up on her like she was the only one to be ganged on. I understand they had Jazz, the sister came in, she fought her too. But it was like, dang, can y'all even it out? Don't stop having just her be jumped on. I started to see how explores it. And me and my cousin, who's younger than I am, who's 9 years younger than me, he still said they don't have to talk about this issue. I would say, look, the racism there. And I remember hearing stuff, and like, for example, I was looking at Jim Ross interview. Jim Ross defending Hulk Hogan, saying he would never been racist and forgive and use the Bible. But yeah, I heard him many times say nappy head and talking about Booker T's hair. You know what I'm saying? All that, all that stuff. And I remember he was similar to that nasty racist attitude that he tried to cover up when he was on Paul Bosch, the Mid-South Federation, or Red Ration Federation, okay? So that's why I'm very aware of this. But it's something else besides the racism that Vince McMahon, and also too, I'm glad that the situation happened with Hulk Hogan, because I will not support him. But not only that, you have Vince McMahon trying to kick him off the Hall of Fame, and folks calling him a racist because, yeah, he let this shit happen. But at the same time, Vince McMahon also sees the word nigga in front of John Cena trying to be wigger in front of Booker T. And I'm sorry, if I Booker T, I go left in. I'm sorry, how much money? Use $1 million money and make your own business. You know what I'm saying? And Rock, I was very upset with Rock defending Hulk Hogan. Come on, my mixed brother. Don't defend that stupid redneck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't call me racist. White folks who are liberal, and I got that DNA, say the same thing about racist people, okay? Rednecks, okay? Especially tending to get my color, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I mean, everybody, because even in the 80s, my aunt would say, because my first cousin and I about the same complexion, and we're both caramel, and we used to say, they say, Hulk Hogan, he got skin cancer, so he about our complexion, you know what I'm saying, growing up as a child. So, yeah, because he was tan a lot. So, before he only called folks niggas and talking about he want a person who got more money, who's African American descent, to marry his daughter so he can get some of that money. That's what he's saying. That's why he want the back. He want the record producer who also got money too. Okay, who's gonna help his daughter become a singer? That was just stupid. Okay, and I'm glad that the thought recorded him. That was good. I'm sorry, I don't care. That was good because now I support his ass. But going back to this, it's more and just deeper than race. And Kamala was underpaid. I'm getting that as well. Kamala, who's not from Africa, who is an African American descendant brother, 19 with some white DNA, just because he dark skin. He got some white, don't have white in the American DNA. I got folks in my family that have the same mixed backgrounds I do, okay? Then my shade and lighter, and those who dark like he is, okay? Who's from here, who's forced to lie that he's from Uganda, okay? All that other mess, and may exploit him. And next thing, he got both his legs amputated, and they ain't paying him a check. And they should pay him. I think Kamala needs to sue McMahon for that. For not underpaying him, getting thousands of Undertaker getting millions. And I remember he had a conversation with his son, said that a black man never made it. The only one I will say is The Rock, who's partially black and part Pacific Islander, Samoa. And I'm kind of feel that sometimes, I got no offense to Rock, and I do, hey, that's my favorite wrestler, okay? It kind of kissed us. That's why he was defending Hulk Hogan, because there's no one in the world I'm defending. Y'all can forgive somebody when I'm defending what they do. I'm sorry. Once they show their real self, we're not longer friends. I can forgive you not being friends. Come on now, I'm not this. I don't believe that slave mentality of forgiveness. Even with people within African Americans and people say they were talking about you did by your family member. You should, but no. Once they did me wrong, bye. Okay, I can forgive you from a distance, but bye. I don't trust you no more. There's a difference between forgiving somebody and trusting somebody. So, what happened is that, I kind of think he's kind of kissing up, in my opinion. No offense to Dwayne Johnson. You got my middle name, okay? Okay, yeah, that's my middle name, Dwayne. Anyway, get that out. But, but at the same time, I would not, no, I'm sorry. And the money you making from Hollywood to WWE, I would make my own business with that and be my own entrepreneur and stop. And he does have his own business, but I would not just be wrestling. I would have my own wrestling federation or something. Okay, it don't have to be just for only ethnic people or only people of African American or mixed race people, whatever. It can be just anybody, but you'll be the head owner. Just like McMahon, maybe Bill Bean, just like he does, okay? There's a dirty secret besides this racial thing. And also, one thing, Jazz manager, one who's about my complexion with bald head, he said that, who's that guy? Oh, I can't think his name. Was a racist. He was wrestling with, God dog, the blonde haired old dude. I can't stand him. I'm trying to find out. He was, y'all know what I'm talking about. I think him is Ted or something. Ted, well, y'all know what I'm talking about. The brother with the Sharp brother. Okay, I know he was. God dog, the white. What's that white guy name? He used to be with Mr. Hyde back in there. I'm like, God, not Eddie Gilbert. The other guy, not Sting. God dog it. Anyway, I can't think of it right now. Point is, if y'all want to comment, I'll bring his name up whenever it comes to my memory, okay? There's another secret. It's not just race. is steroids and homosexual sex. Yes, I gotta bring this up. Bring the tea up in here. Grab your teacups and your coffee cups because I'm about to bring it up in here. You know my big mouth about to get louder. I just saw Donahue interview with Vince McMahon and wrestlers claiming that they were sexually harassed and molested by Pat Patterson, who was the vice president, if I'm not mistaken, of WWE back in the 80s and the in the early 90s and 70s or late 70s as well. That they didn't sleep with this man, they will get fired. Vince McMahon acted like a jackass on Phil Donahue. I'm glad the wrestlers spoke up. I'm glad there's a lawsuit. Vince McMahon is a dirty old man. I'm just telling you like it is. The man is dirty. Stinky ass and dirty. And I'm glad Kamala told his son that. Because before I saw Kamala and follow something about no place for no black man to be in WWE, I said sex and drugs. Yeah. You had to take steroids. Even though they claim they didn't have no steroids, you had to take it before they made it illegal in the early 90s or something like that. In the 80s, a lot of wrestlers took steroids in order to fight, to act ugly, because steroids make you get ugly. Okay? Take steroids in order to get built. They had to wrestle good. They had to get, steroids make it go crazy. It's worse than Kush, okay? I mean, it's like, I can't worse because I've never done Kush, but it's like worse than crack, okay? You get addicted to it, you act ugly, you start to act foolish. Many people had died, got committed suicide. I think Ben Raw had killed his wife because I think people think that he had something to do with that and commit suicide, his children as well. This man allowed people to come in the WWF at the time to get drugs to push a man. Some pusher man in WWE, WWF at the time, was giving drugs to wrestlers and forced to use it in order to wrestle good. And also, too, Pat Robertson was also, they said that the ring people, the folks who set up the stages, you had teenage boys getting sexual, forced to be sex, they had touching their private area. When I would discuss it, not only it was racism, but sex. Knowing that women like Sable, she was being sexually harassed. She claimed she had a lawsuit and then she went back to WWE, which is stupid. As Rena Romero, she claimed that she was sexually harassed. I'll never forget that. I'm glad that she stood up for her, and I'm glad she did this. Because after she did the Playboy thing, remember she was supposed to be a Christian, evangelical Christian, and it's very against the morals of that, okay? She had posed for Playboy 2 times, and then she got class action, and she beat up, Jacqueline and other wrestlers, okay? She got a class action suit. No, she got a lawsuit against the WWE. She couldn't use the word because her screen name Sable. Let me see my stage name. Give me stage name Sable. She had to what else? And she also was told that she had to kiss a woman, and she did not want to do that. I'm glad that a woman stood up and said, "I'm not doing that shit." If you don't want to see men kissing each other, don't have women kissing each other. You know what I'm saying? And I think that besides folks talking about the Illuminati and all the other Trump passing the gay issue, well, first, because when Bush was in prison, we saw girls, straight guys passing this gay girl, lesbo, bisexual chick thing going on. So, I mean, it's going to follow with the guys on guys. Okay, come on now. And, what I'm saying? So, anyway. But in WWE, at the time, they were trying. There was talk that if you didn't have sex with Pat Patterson, excuse me, and he came out later on as a gay man, you was going to lose your job. Vince McMahon didn't want to hear it. He had the arrogant, mean, ugly attitude he showed on Donahue. Just prove it. So if you put all this together, you had the sex scandal, both male and female wrestlers who get fired. Sexual abuse, you had drugs and racism. That lets you know how greedy, and they say not the money is evil. St. Paul say the love of money is evil. This is how greedy, and this is $1 billion man. This is the reason why I had stopped watching wrestling, besides how it wasn't like it was back in the 90s and 80s. It's wired down. I was going to watch it when Rock was on it. I love the WWE Divas. But I just not gonna boycott McMahon now. At not underpaying people of African American and probably other wrestlers of color, except for the Rock, because Rock had 2 people, and besides, and not only because he was light skinned with non-kinky hair, whatever, But you had two people who had hook up. You had his grandfather on his mom's side and his dad. So that's another reason why that he had hook up into WWE. Okay, these other wrestlers just came in. They might have hook up, as we don't know about the Junkyard Dog. I mean, they chose to come in. You didn't have family that was already wrestling. Like The Rock's dad, he came in just like them, but and also his grandfather, but they had hook up in the business. Okay, so just like if I'm a singer and my dad or grandfather was a singer, I'm going to have hook up to become because they know who to work with, who to go to, because who you know now, what you know. And it goes as a aspiring or celebrity myself. That's why I'm struggling, because I don't know everybody in the entertainment industry. But the point is that you have the racism, underpaying people of different color. You have sex, both gay and straight, sex abuse scandals. You have drugs, and you have all this stuff going on. I'm glad I'll admit that I want to become a wrestler. I'm glad I did not choose a profession. I'm glad that when I always watch Tough Enough, I wanted to be on Tough Enough. I actually want to go to the gym and start. I don't want to go Tough Enough and try to beat one of those guys in there. But as you see, and it's very true that most of the white wrestlers, both male and female, are elevated. People of color, except for Rock and Lita. Lita was part white and part Latina. She's part Puerto Rican and Mexican and, Irish and French, I think. She, saying, that's the one way. She's not even wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So, and Jacqueline, we ain't seen Jacqueline in a long time. Jazz, Melita, the Puerto Rican chick, we ain't seen her in a while. So, they not as big like The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then and now Jim Ross is coming out trying to bash WWE because he got fired, which he deserved to, because all that race stuff. But y'all in the same pot anyway. So I'm just letting you know that I'm boycotting WWE. I don't watch none of their stuff. I might share some things on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever, but I'm not gonna put up the dial to, and get them any ratings. After seeing this mess and y'all not paying Kamala, this man's suffering because he was underpaid $1,000, not millions. You know what I'm saying? That's just wrong. And then he's amputated both legs. That's just wrong. So, if I was Rock, if you listen to this, I am your fan. I'm gonna watch your movies. I follow you on Instagram. You're my role model, okay? But I would leave WWE to start your own record. I'm a singer myself. Your own wrestling federation, so you don't have to worry about that racist, sicko, greedy bastard, McMahon. Okay, all the areas I mentioned in this video is just sickening to me. So I don't support it, and I believe that China died because of this man too. You know what I'm saying? So all I have to say.